Welcome you all. Welcome you all for today's sadhana class. We'll start the session with 3-time Omkara with Shanti mantra and followed by Guru Stotra. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Akhandamandalakaram Vyaptam Jena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Stavaram Jangamam Vyaptam Yatkinchit Sacharacharam Tadpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapi Yat Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharacharam Tadpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sarva Shruti Shiro Ratna Virajita Patambuja Vedantambuja Suryoya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chaitanya Shashwata Shanta Vyomatito Niranjana Vindunada Kalatita Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jnana Shakti Samaruda Tattvamala Vibhushita Bhukti Mukti Pradata Cha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Aneka Janma Samprapta Karma Bandha Vidahine Atma Jnana Pradhanena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shoshanam Bhava Sindoscha Jnapanam Sara Sampada Guru Padodakam Samyak Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Na Guroradhikam Tattvam Na Guroradhikam Tapah Tattva Jnanat Param Nasti Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mannatha Shri Jagannatha Madguru Shri Jagadguru Madatma Sarva Bhutatma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Guru Radhiranadischa Guru Paramadaivatam Guru Parataram Nasti Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Once again, welcome to you all again. Okay, today we have Swami Shardhanandji with us to take this session. About Swami Shardhanandji, Swami Shardhanandji joined the 2002 batch of the Vedanta Sadhaka course under Swami Ishwanandaji at Sandipni Sadhanalaya, Mumbai. Swami Shardhanandaji, an accomplished scholar and a devoted sadhaka, is a postgraduate in Advaita Vedanta and an adept in Sanskrit language. Swamiji assisted Puji Guruji Swami Tejomananda ji as the Sanskrit Acharya in the 13th Vedanta course batch at Sandipni Sadhanalaya. He was also appointed as Upacharya for the 15th Sandipni Vedanta course. Now let us welcome to Swamiji for today's session. Over to you, Swamiji. Hariom Swamiji, you can start.
Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryandam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti-smriti-purananamalayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat-pada-shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Hari Om to everyone. Suprabhatam. Past months, we were discussing different aspects of sadhana. So we went through the different steps, like there are two kinds of sadhana. One is known as Bahiranga sadhana, another is Antaranga sadhana. So in Bahiranga sadhana, we learned about puja and japa, and also some aspect of chintanam. As Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi says, pujanam japaha chintanam kramat. So we discussed different aspects of all these japa, etc. in detail. Hope that we are doing something so that the studies becomes more and more experiential, not that just some informations, or we gathered so many informations like that. One more information is spirituality. Not, it's something which has to be practiced, which has to be experienced. So for that, to have Shravana, proper listening itself, our mind should be peaceful. Our mind should be without much distractions. Then only we can listen. Otherwise, mind will be roaming around, and then we don't even hear what is spoken to us. So with the basic this Shravana sadhanas of puja and japa, next comes the chintanam, thinking. So we thought that instead of just discussing some points, we will start to learn a small text. It's a very rarely taught text, especially in Chinmaya Mission, etc. But it's a very, very beautiful one. I hope that it is shared to all of you. You have got that text with you. Only just 10 shlokas. The name of this tiny small text is Durvasana Pratikara Dashakam. Do you have this? Anybody not received? Please contact the office so that you will get the text of this. Because it will be nice if you have the, I have asked them to even transliterate. If somebody cannot read Devanagari, then even you can not. I asked them to transliterate also. If you have not received, please contact the office and they will send you this paper in Devanagari also, in transliteration also. So the name of this small text is only just 10 shlokas. It's known as Durvasana Pratikara Dashakam. So many people sometimes know, naturally we think that this is Shankaracharya's. Of course, this is a Shankaracharya Kriti, but not the Adi Shankaracharya. But it's believed that this is written by Vidyaranya Swami. He was also a Shankaracharya of Sringeri Mata. So that's why, if you see the end of this work, it is written, Iti Swami Vidyaranya Vidachitam Durvasana Pratikara Dashakam Sampurna. So it's a small, just 10 verses by none other than Vidyaranya Swami. I'm sure most of you are familiar with Bhagavan Vidyaranya. The Vedanta, especially Advaita Vedanta, is classified into 3 parts. One is Shankara Kriti, the works of Shankara. The works of Shankara on the Prasthanatrayi and his independent works, and pre-Shankara, the works of Acharyas before Shankara. So the Sutra, Gita, Ityadi comes in that, and also the Mandukya Karika of Gaudapada, etc. They come pre-Shankara, before Shankara. Bhagavan himself quotes different Acharyas, but some texts are unavailable nowadays, but there were many, many Acharyas. That's why Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, I'm not telling anything new. He says, Ya ime gurubhi purvam padavakya pramanatah vyakhyata sarvavedantaha tebhyo nityam namo namaha. Bhagavan says very clearly that whatever I am speaking is already spoken by great acharyas before me. That's why Bhagavan, if we read Bhagavan's original text, Bhagavan never says that this is all, said by me. So nowadays we call Shankara Darshanam, but according to Bhagavan Shankara, there is no Shankara Darshanam. This is only Vedanta, Upanishadika Vedanta Darshanam, which was ever there, Sanatana Vaidika Dharma. So, but then what Sri Shankara did was, he popularized this works again among this world and people, Sanatana Dharma. So Bhagavan is nowadays, as the academician says, these are the Shankara Darshana, the philosophy of Shankara. Bhagavan himself never says. Bhagavan says, whatever I say is based on three things: Shruti, Yukti, Anubhava. Shruti, Veda; Yukti, the logics, which was already proven by the great Acharyas; Anubhava, the experience of thousands of people, not only me. That's why when you read the Shankara Bhashya, we see Bhagavan always say Vayam. No, Bhagavan always says that we shall speak. And Anandagiri Acharya says that when Bhagavan says we shall speak, it means this is not just one person's opinion. This is the opinion of the entire Parambara. Sadashiva Samarambha. Or Narayanam Vatmabhuvam Vasishtam Shaktin Jadat Putra Parasharam Chavyasam Sugam Gaudapadam Mahantam Govinda Yogindra Matha. So what Adi Shankaracharya is speaking is not his own philosophy, but the philosophy which was ever existing in this Sanatana Dharma. Now, so the Shankara philosophy, actually, as we say, but then Bhagavan wrote commentaries and then wrote many independent texts. And there are acharyas who wrote before. So pre-Shankara, Shankara, and post-Shankara, after Shankaras. After Shankaracharya also many great acharyas came. They spread this Shankara Darshana. They contributed to the Shankara Vedanta Darshana. Let us not call it Shankara Darshana. Say Vedanta Darshana, Upanishadiga Vedanta Darshana. They also contributed heavily. Among such post-Shankara acharyas, one of the greatest acharya, Pratasmaraniya acharya, is Vidyaranya Muni. Vidyaranya was the pontiff, the Shankaracharya of the Sringeri Matha. He was one of the greatest, acharyas of our tradition, even before he took sannyas. He was a great Mahatma. He was a well-learned Shastra, Shastrajnani. So his name was Madhavacharya. It's believed that Bhagavan, the Madhavacharya, not Madhvacharya, okay? Madhava Acharya, because sometimes people confuse this Madhava and Madhva. Madhva is Dvaita Acharya. This is Madhava. Madhava Acharya. He was a great philosophist, and then he was born in 1296 in Warangal. Those days, it was all born. So in Warangal it was born, it's believed, in 1296. And he became a great acharya. And then he wanted to bring back the traditions, bring back and establish the Sanatana Dharma. So he worked on this revival of the Sanatana Dharma. For that, he has composed a very famous kriti known as Sarva Darshana Sangraha. See, when we read Sri Shankaracharya, in some places, we don't even understand what Acharya is talking about. Because Acharya is discussing the other darshanas. So, to understand even Advaita Vedanta properly, we should know some basic understanding of other darshanas. So, Madhavacharya composed a very great book named Sarva Darshana Sangraha. So, in Sanskrit, in Chase Sanskrit. So, he starts with the different Buddha, Jaina, Ityadi philosophies, and then analyze what is the core teaching. He's not going into a very detailed study of those darshanas. He shows us the core of this darshana and then shows what is the difference between the Advaita Vedanta and how Advaita Vedanta is greater than this darshan. That's a very beautiful work, and there are, I think English also may be there, but very beautiful Hindi commentaries are available, even from Chaukamba, etc. If anybody wants to read, that will be a very beautiful work. So this is known as Sarvadarshana Sangraha. And also as Sarvadarshana, as the Shankaracharya, he composed the great work known as Shankara Dikvijaya. There are different Shankara Dikvijaya. This is known as Madhaviya Shankara Dikvijaya, the life and the works of Adi Shankaracharya, known as Shankara Dikvijaya. That also he composed. And he also composed a bhashyam on Parashara Smriti. It's believed that in Kali Yuga, more than Manusmriti, Parashara Smriti is, more authentic. So, Sri Vidyaranya wrote a bhashyam on the Parashara Smriti. And he also composed a work known as Jaiminiya Mala Prakashaha. This Jaiminiya Mala Vistara. This is a Jaiminiya Mala. Jaiminiya means Purvamimamsa. So he is, actually a study on the Purvamimamsa. So these are the works, main works of Madhavacharya. So Madhavacharya was a great philosopher. He was not only a great philosopher. So he was the one who inspired Harihara Raja and Bukka Raja Raya to establish Vijayanagara Samrajya. So that's why Acharya became the Rajaguru of the Vijayanagara Samrajya, and he was the one who actually gave them directions how to establish this kingdom and how to expand the kingdom and how to bring back the great eternal values of Sanatana Dharma back into the society. So he actually served the Harihara Raya and Bukka Raya as their prime minister for a long time, and then he became the pontiff or the Shankaracharya of the Sri Sringeri Matha from 1380 to 1386. She became the Acharya Pidhadhipati of the Sri Shankara Matha, the Matha established by Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya in Sringeri. He became the Sringeri Jagadguru. It's believed that he is the 12th Jagadguru of the Sringeri Pidha. Now, then he took the name Vidya Aranya. Aranya is one of the Dasanama, like Saraswati, Puri, Bharati, etc. One Dasanama is Aranya. So Bhagavan Madhavacharya, when he was initiated into sannyasa, he took this name Vidya Aranya. So he became the Vidyaranya, Acharya Vidyaranya. And as Acharya Vidyaranya, he also wrote many texts. Among them, the most famous is Panchadashi. I'm sure many of you are the students of Panchadashi. And Panchadashi is one of the great work of Advaita Vedanta philosophy and detailed work on different aspects of this, this life-giving philosophy. So because of Panchadashi, Vidyaranya was after named as Panchadashi Kara, the composer of Panchadashi. So it became so famous like that. So Panchadashi, and many believe that Jivan Mukti Viveka. Sometimes people call Jivan Mukti Viveka as the composed by Adi Shankaracharya, but most of the academicians, scholars say that this is not Adi Shankaracharya Kriti, this is Vidyaranya Kriti, Jivan Mukti Viveka. It's also a very beautiful work by Bhagavan. And then also he, as the Vidyaranya, Bhagavan composed a study on the Purvamimamsa Bhashya. He wrote Bhashya, commentary on Purvamimamsa. Jaimini's Purvamimamsa Sutra also. So these are the main works of Vidyaranya. And this small Kriti of 10 verses also is composed by Sri Vidyaranya. Okay. And so what is the name of the text? Durvasana Pratikara Dashakam. Dashakam means 10 verses. Dasham, 10. Dashakam, a group of 10. So 10 verses on Durvasana Pratikara Dashakam. Now, so what is this Dashaka? This Dashaka, these 10 verses are on Durvasana Pratikara. Now, what is Durvasana? We know Vasana. Vasana is a word we always use in our Vedanta philosophy as the, our vasanas, as the inclinations or habit or tendencies which we carry forward from the past birth or this birth. All those tendencies, all those habits, all those inclinations are known as vasanas. And what kind of vasanas are of two kinds? Durvasana and Sadvasana. Sadvasana takes us. See, you are all here because we have Sadvasana. Otherwise, it's such a nice Sunday. We should have gone somewhere else. But we are sitting here because Sadvasana is there in us. Good vasanas are there. To listen to Shastra, to remember Bhagavan, to worship him, to meditate, to do japa. These are all vasanas. These are also due to vasanas, but they are sadvasanas. But then there are durvasanas. So, what is durvasana? Duhu. It's a preposition in Sanskrit known as duhu. Dus. What is dusvasana? Duhu means generally negative. Sukham. Dukham. So, negative. Or do also means unhealthy. Do also means bad. So, durvasana means bad habits. So, durvasana means all that negative inclinations, that which is unhealthy habits. So, durvasana means unhealthy habits, negative inclination, bad, tendencies, habits. That is durvasana. Now comes pratikara. What do you mean pratikara? Pratikara means antidote. Pratikara means medicine. Pratikara means remedy. So durvasanas are there in all beings. See, why we are taken this life of human beings? Because in us, durvasanas are also, sadvasanas are also there. If we were predominantly sadvasanas, we should have reached heavens. Or if we are predominantly durvasanas, we should have gone somewhere else. But as human beings, in both vasanas are there in us. But what we have to do? Slowly increase the sadvasanas and decrease the durvasanas. This is how, that's what known as sadhana. So sadhana, spiritual practices are of two, it's like a, two-edged sword. One, to cut down our durvasanas. Another, to help our sadvasanas to rise. So the sadhana is for that. Whether we are doing japa, whether we are doing puja, whether we are, go to the temple and worship Bhagavan, or just sit and then listen to, like good talks, whether we are anything, any of these activities, they are helping us in two ways. One, to cut down, to destroy the durvasanas. And also, it helps us to bring up all the sadvasanas which are there in us. So, what is this Dashakam, these 10 verses, which helps us to decrease first, to remove and destroy the durvasanas, the negative tendencies, bad habits, which are there. So these 10 verses are like a medicine, like an aushadha, like a nectar, so that we can remove the durvasana. So in Ayurveda also, Ayurveda speaks about our health. Ayurveda is the Veda of health. Ayurveda is actually talking about, not about, diseases, Ayurveda is mainly focused on good health. Now, what they say, no, there are pathya, there is medicine, no, all those things, not just to, because like, now I have some trouble, so when I go to a doctor, they give me a medicine. Not that way. The Ayurveda actually teaches us to have good health. Now, because of some diseases, the good health is going down, so treat diseases. Like that, Vedanta Shastra is like the Aushadhi, like the medicine, which will remove the negative tendencies, increase the sadvasanas, and slowly help us to find the path and reach the ultimate goal. So that's why this is, I thought that, in our this weekly or monthly class, we'll take up these beautiful verses and then study and then reflect on these beautiful verses. Now, Sri Vidyaranya Swami, we will start. I hope all of you have this. I will chant, although you are not, I cannot hear, but please repeat. Okay, very beautiful verses. Pradar Vaidika Karmata Tat Anu Sad Vedanta Sanchindaya Paschad Bharata Moksha Dharma Mananad Vasishtha Ramayanad Sayam Bhagavatartha Tattva Kadhaya Ratrau Nididhyasanad Kalo Gacchatu Naha Sharira Bharanam Prarabdha Kandarpitam. Once more, by line I will chant. Please repeat. Pradarvaidika karma karmata tadanusat vedanta sanchindaya Paschad Bharata Moksha Dharma Mananad Vasishtha Ramayanad Sayam Bhagavatartha Tattva Kadhaya Ratro Dididhyasanad Kalo Gacchatu Nasharira Bharanam Prarabdha Kandharpitam. Can we chant together once more? Together. Pradarvaidika karmatas tadanusad vedanta sanchintaya Paschad Bharata Moksha Dharma Mananad Vasishtha Ramayanad Sayam Bhagavatartha Tattva Kadhaya Ratro Nididhyasanad Kalo Gacchatu Nasharira Bharanam Prarabdha Kandharpitam. A very beautiful verse with a very nice sloka, like Vrutta. Says, how can we slowly give this antidote for our Durvasana. Says, by regulating our life. The spiritual life is not some magics, something. Some people think that we come to the Guru and then Guru blesses us and then of course, it happens, not that it will not happen or anything, but the spiritual life actually is not some magic or some mystic experiences, etc. Spiritual life is a very steady expansion of our own understanding. I'm sure when you read this, if anyone who has studied Sadhana Panchakam, you will be feeling, some kind of a touch. How Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya says that Vedo Nityamadhiyatam Tadudidam Karmaswanushteyatam Tene Shasya Vidhiyatam Apachitihi Kamye Matistaj. Same kind of a thought. Says what we should do. Bhagavan, the Acharya Vidyaranya Swami is giving us some anushtana. What we should do. So many times, when we study Vedanta, a question comes to us, Kya karu mein? What shall I do? Because this is how we think. We have to do something. And then Ramana Maharshi says, don't do anything. Now we get confused. How can we live without doing anything? So Vedanta is taking us like, see, that is the ultimate, where there is no karma, there is no karta, there is no, that kind of triputik shaya. But we always want to do something. Okay, if you want to do something, what you should do? Says, pratah, morning, vaidika karmatah. Our day should start with vaidika karma. What is vaidika karma? The karmas prescribed in the Vedas. That is Vaidikam, Vedasya idam, Vedena bodhitam. That which is taught to us by Veda. What is that which, Veda speaks? Vedas tells us, after, the most important thing in our life is dharma. Veda says, that's why when we study Upanishads, etc., very clearly, Veda says, Navirato duscharitat, na shantaha, na asamahitaha, ashanta manaso vapi, prajnanena ekmam na apnuyad. Vedanta says, there is a person, okay, he's well informed, everything he knows. He studied Vedanta, he memorized Srimad Bhagavad Gita, he can quote Brahma Sutras. Very good, very nice. But that doesn't mean that that person is an experiencer of the truth. This is something we should always remember. So, like we study physics, we study chemistry, we study biology. Like that, we can study Vedanta and we can give good talks. Everything is okay. Everything is good. But that is not enough. Vedanta is not like any other philosophy, which you just, like Western philosophy, we take and then we learn and then, an expert in Socrates or in this person and that person. No, not that is not enough, because these are all good informations, but this information should change us. The jnana should change us. If the jnana is not changing, that jnanam is also only a information. In Malayalam, there was a great poet. He says, Kungumattinde gandha mariyade, Kungumam chumakkumpola gardhabha. Gardhabha means a donkey. Okay, this donkey is carrying saffron, kunkuma. Kunkum, the saffron, he's carrying kilos of saffron, but he doesn't know that this is kunguma. He doesn't know that whether this is saffron or some stone or some anything. For him, it's only he's carrying some weight, that's all. Like that, we study Vedanta, very good. But unless we realize unless we experience, unless it actually changes our life, that is also one more information. So that's why Acharya says, Pratah Vaidika Karma Taha. Morning, our days should start with Tanme Mana Shiva Sankalpamastu. With proper, nice, Shiva Sankalpa, all right kinds of thoughts, that thoughts which will inspire us, those thoughts and ideas which will lead us to a higher level of consciousness, such thoughts. Not only thoughts, but most of us, we should do also. What? We should do our japa, we should do our dhyana. Whoever is practicing Sandhya Vandana Adi Karma, they should do Sandhya Vandana. Some may be doing the, daily Agnihotra Adi Karma, that should be performed. Whatever is said in the Veda, those dharma should be practiced. Why? Why should I practice? Because I know that Aham Brahmasmi and everything is Brahman. I know that knowledge is only a information. So what we should do, we have to cleanse our mind. And the mind should be concentrated. For cleaning and for concentration, we need Karma Kanda and Upasana Kanda. We should practice Karma Yoga and Upasana Yoga, although we are Vedantins, because that only actually will help us to understand, to experience this great thought. Okay, so Prataha Vaidika Karma Karmataha. So that's the first word. Prataha. Prataha, morning. Vaidika Karmataha. We should engage ourselves in the karmas which are prescribed in the Vedas, like japa, Gayatri japa, Sandhya Vandana, Dainandina, Sandhya Vandanadi, and also the Agnihotra if you practice. No, Swamiji, we do not know all that. Okay, no problem. Light a lamp and then sit down and then chant your Ishtamandra. Make your mind calm and quiet. Let good, noble thoughts of Veda come to us. If we can help somebody, help. So whatever is good things, good thought, these are also Vaidika Karma. So, Prataha Vaidika Karmadaha. Okay. Now, see here, we should understand that this Durvasana Pratikara Dashaka, is an Upadesha for all the Shiyas are for two kinds. One are sannyasins, a group of sannyasins, and another group of householders. So this Upadeshas are for householders and sannyasins. Okay. So there will be some things which are directed towards householders. There are some things which are directed towards sannyasins. And we should, in this verse, it's talking about the coming verses, etc. We always remember that when sometimes I also forget to tell, okay, this is sannyas in this. So understand that there are things are there which are only for sannyasins, things are there only for grihasthas, and things are there, upadeshas are there for both parties. Most of the upadeshas are for most parties, but there could be some which are actually Vaidika Karmataha. So for a sannyasin who has given up Agni, who has given up everything, for him Vaidika Karma is meditation. Okay, but a householder who is still in the word, he should do Panchayajnaha, Nriyajna, Bhudayajna, Devayajna, Atidhiyajna, Rishiyajna. This Panchayajna should be practiced by a grihastha. So that is Prataha Vaidika Karmataha. Now, morning we get up, we do our, Sandhya Vandana Karma, whatever we are supposed to do, our dharma, we have completed. Now, what to do now? Now, again, in householders also, there are here mainly, Bhagavan is, addressing two kinds of people. One are grihasthas, another are vanaprasthins. So grihasthas means they are still engaged in different activities of the world, and it is their duty to take up dharma, to take up work, job, karma. So please don't mix, oh, Bhagavan says that. No. Whatever, in whichever status we are, in whichever ashrama we are, accordingly we should take up the upadeshas. Okay. Now, there are people, for a sannyasin or a vanaprasthi, who has retired from the world. They are living a very, calm, quiet life. So morning they get up and then they do their ashramochita karma. Whether it is sannyasi is also supposed to do his meditations and karma, and a grihastha also, and a vanaprasthin also. So that's all done. Now, what we should do? Then says, tad anusad vedanta sanchintaya. We are not supposed to just do some actions without knowing the meaning of it. We should understand, if I am doing Gayatri Mantra Japa, I should know what is the meaning of Gayatri. How this Gayatri will help me. If I am doing Sandhya Vandana, what is the purpose of Sandhya Vandana? How Sandhya Vandana helps me? If I am doing the Agnihotra Adi Karma, I should know what is this Agnihotra. No, Jnatva Kurvita Karmani. Shastra very, gives this advice. Jnatva Kurvita Karmani. We should take up different kinds of anushtanas. Jnatva, understanding the meaning. Jnatva Kurvita Karmani. So we have done our duties. Now what we should do? Tadanusad. After that, anusad, it should be continued with Vedanta Sanchintaya. We should engage ourselves in Sanchinda, Satchinda, the proper contemplation, proper study and contemplation of Vedanta. So, morning our karmas are over, then we should take up the study of Vedanta, listening to Vedanta, manana of Vedanta. So Vedanto Nama Upanishad Pramanam Shastram. So we should have this every day. We should take up some Upanishads. So sometime, one Upanishad after. So they say, Acharyas tells us that every day as a Vedanta student, most of us are Vedanta students, what we should do, that we should not just go on reading one text only. We should read one Upanishad, one Prakarana Grantha, and one Adhunika Grantha in our everyday Swadhyaya. So we should take up. So if you are starting from, if you are new to Vedanta, we should start the Upanishad studies with Kathopanishad. Because Kathopanishad is the first Upanishad Bhashya. Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya's Bhashya, so he first wrote on Kathopanishad because Kathopanishad is a very student-friendly Upanishad. Actually, it's very easy for us to understand because there's a beautiful katha, and then slowly the thoughts are presented before us, and it's very beautiful Upanishad. So it's better to start with. If we take first itself, Aitareya Upanishad, etc., sometimes there is a problem of even Ishavasya. So if you are starting, start with Kathopanishad. So we take a Kathopanishad, and then every day we read a few mantras. See, it's not like a novel, we take and then we complete not like that. Take up a few mantras and not just read. If you read 1 or 2, 3 shlokas and sit down and then think what is said. So that's how Upanishad should be read, not like So Vedanta Sanchintaya. So Vedanta, 3 things are there. One is known as the Upanishads. Another is Smriti, like Srimad Bhagavad Gita, etc. Third is the actually Brahma Sutra, but Brahma Sutra, etc., is better to start little later. Read something of the contemporary saints, like something from Sri Ramana Maharshi, something from Sri Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, something from Puja Gurudev, something from Puja Tapovan Maharaj, whichever is. But one thing is, take up a text, read it, finish it before you go to another text. So these three things, one Upanishad, little Bhagavad Gita, some work of the contemporary or the modern acharyas, that will give us a different flavors. Why we need the different flavors? We can just only roti. Now we want roti, little sabji, little curd, or rice, like that, so that our mind becomes balanced. Like that, for our buddhi also, a balanced diet is better. So we read, Vedanta Sanchintaya, Satchintaya, proper thinking, not reading. Vedanta Padhana is not said, Chinta is said. So take up, nobody is going to test us. Okay, how many slokas, mantras you read today? 10 slokas. Good, 10 marks. How many you? 1. The thing is, we take up and then think what is said there. Little bit at least. Okay, so Vedanta Sanchintaya, we should lead our time. So, Pradar Vaidika Karmata Tadanusat Vedanta Sanchintaya. Then what? Now I think time is up. So I will just tell the meaning, and then next class we will go into deeper analyze. Paschat afterwards, Bharata Moksha Dharma Mananat. We should do the mananam, thinking of moksha dharma, the greatest dharma, which is moksha, which is prescribed, which is written, which is composed, which is indicated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Bharatam. Srimad Bharata of Sri Vedavyasa, we should read little. Then Vasishta Ramayana, the Yoga Vasishta. One of the best, text of Vedanta is Yoga Vasishtam. So read little bit of Yoga Vasishtam. Then Sayam, then whatever work you have to do, if it is a sannyasi or a grihastha or a vanaprastha, they have different duties to be, taken care of. Take care of all those duties. Then Sayam, now it's evening. What we should do? Bhagavatartha Tattva Kadhaya. We should do Bhagavatam. In the evening, the day should be entered with Bhagavata. Srimad Bhagavata, Artha Tattva Kadhaya. Not only just read the stories of Srimad Bhagavata, but what is the Tattva indicated by this Srimad Bhagavata Kadha? Ratro Nididhyasana. So we have, read different text, and then we try to understand the meaning of it. But that is not enough. We have to do the Nididhyasanam. We have to sit down and then contemplate all these great values, great dharma, which are, given to us through this Shastra. Just reading Shastra is not enough. Night, we should contemplate on this truth or the great values and all that, tattva which is pointed out through the Shastra. Then, Kalo Gachatuna Sharira Bharanam. Kalo Gachatuna. In this way, our time should be spent. And what about our Sharira Bharana? We have to take care of our body, we have to take care of our family, etc. Yes. Sharira Bharanam Prarabdha Kanthar. So Prarabdha Stviha Bhujyatam. Suppose the Prarabdha has kept you as a housewife, or a husband, or a wife, or a teacher, or whoever you are, let that all go on. But don't say that because I am a householder, or because I am a CEO, because I am a housewife, I don't have time for this. We should find time, because this is about ourselves. All other things, You know, as a CEO, as a housewife, as a husband, as a son, as a daughter, as a student, all these are for is a time bound. For some time, yes. But for our eternal life, our eternal journey, we need something more. And the Shastra reveals us this, that which will help us for our, journey. So we have actually completed the first line properly. The third lines, the third lines, we understood the basic meaning. Detailedly we see in the next class. Thank you. Now we will continue with the chanting and such things.
Yeah, Hari Om. I would like to thank Swamiji for this wonderful session and all of the sadhaka presented in the class. Now we'll conclude this session by chanting Dashakam followed by Shanti Mantra. विदिताखिल शास्त्र सुधा जलते महितोपनिषद कथितार्थ निधे हृदये कलये विमलं चरणं भवशंकर देशिक मे शरणं भवशंकर देशिक मे शरणं करुणा वरुणालय पालय मां भवसागर दुःख विदून हृदं रचयाखिल दर्शन तत्त्वविदं भवशंकर देशिक मे शरणं भवता जनता सुहिता भविता निज बोध विचारण चारुमते कलयेश्वर जीव विवेक विदं भवशंकर देशिक मे शरणं भव एव भवानिधि मे नितरां समजायत चेतसि कौतुकिता मम भारय मोह महाजलधिं भवशंकर देशिक मे शरणं सुकृते अधिकृते बहुधा भवतो भविता समदर्शन लालसता अतिदीनमिमं परिपालय मां भवशंकर देशिक मे शरणं जगतीमवितुं कलिता कृतयो विचरन्ति महामहसच्छलतः अहिमाशुरिवात्र विभासि गुरो भवशंकर देशिक मे शरणं गुरुपुंगव पुंगव केतन ते समतामयतां नहि कोऽपि सुधिः शरणागत वत्सल तत्त्वनिधे भवशंकर देशिक मे शरणं विदिता न मया विशदैककला न च किंचन कांचनमस्ति गुरो द्रुतमेव विदेहि कृपां सहजां भवशंकर देशिक मे शरणं भवशंकर देशिक मे शरणं ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम हरि ओम।